Start now.
Oh.
Recording or streaming?
Streaming.
So that's terrifying.
Yes.
I don't think it's pointed at me, so I'm actually okay.
Should we?
You can only see like half your
reduce the
face.
ambient light, or?
Oh, that's a wide lens.
What did you expect? It's a camera from.
So I can
Someone's
either
touching
drift further
me.
to the left and get completely out of it.
For the presenter.
I
need light.
Yeah, you have a backlit display on your keyboard.
Turn it up to maximum.
Mike, I got some light for you. Hey.
But yes, we are live.
So let's just get started. Who here's been to FOSSCON already?
Hi.
I have never been there.
Okay. I totally believe you. So FOSSCON is a free and open source conference held in Philadelphia. It's been around for quite a while now. Depending on how you measure it, it's been a project for 9 years now. This year will be the 7th year in Philadelphia. There was also a 1 year outside of that, and it actually goes back even farther than that. It goes back farther than I had anything to do with it. I'll talk a little bit about that because it's a not too well-known story. But FOSSCON has been a really important thing to me, in particular because it's opened a lot of doors for me. It's let me meet a lot of really cool people and make some good friends, and it's been really kind of a life-changing thing in some ways for me. So I'm going to talk a little bit about it tonight, and also in general, how to get involved in FOSSCON, things like it, other things that might be going on around you that you might not even know about, and why it might be worthwhile to do so. So FOSSCON, it's a conference held in Philly. First started out, it was modeled after two other open source conferences primarily. CPOSC, which is held in Harrisburg and has a pretty long history, I think 10 years now, maybe even longer. And Southeast
It's in
Linux
Lancaster
Fest.
now.
It's in, yeah.
Started in Harrisburg.
It did start in Harrisburg, yeah. It's last year was in Lancaster, and the year before that as well, or
Like last 3 years.
Does-
they did it.
no more train to get there, unfortunately.
You could almost.
Yeah, there
do it
is.
This year. It was.
You just have to like walk like 10
It was
blocks.
like a 20-minute walk
Oh,
to
that's
the
not
train
as bad.
station, so it wasn't so bad.
Okay, that's not too bad.
Except it was snowing and like sleeting at the end of it.
What? I don't remember that.
It was sleet. The weather was horrible at the end.
I
It
can
wasn't snowing,
say,
it was sleeting.
Sidebar.
But we're getting off hard.
I can say with confidence it has never snowed at FOSSCON.
I really wish it had year before last. That was
Yeah.
kind of bad.
Yeah, it was hot.
We were praying.
No. You guys don't remember base camp. There was one base camp that was brutal. In fact,
I was playing Christmas music like before my talk.
I think if it had snowed in the Friends Meeting House, there would have been like applause.
That's probably true. So the other conference is Southeast Linux Fest, which is held in various portions of southeastern United States.
it's at
I-
various portions, meaning Charlotte, North Carolina.
It's been a couple other places,
Right.
but I think the last 3 or 4 years it's been in Charlotte. Yeah,
Try 6.
6. Wow. Okay.
Yeah. Well, okay, so Jeremy lives there, so he kind of doesn't want to go too far from home, and they have this, and the hotel that keeps on putting it up, it has a sweet deal, and there was just a tweet put out by Jason Plum saying they're very short on hotel rooms, so if you want to book your hotel room, please do it quickly.
So there you go. If you want to book your hotel room for self, you should do it tonight,
Probably in 5 minutes, to be honest.
right now.
Now.
Yes, now.
Really now.
Sweet.
So those two events are a couple that I've been to that helped drive how I kind of wanted to see FOSSCON go. This is the second time somebody's tried to have FOSSCON, and by that I mean prior to the 9 years that I've been working on it, somebody tried to have something with the same name, with the same logos and graphics and principles and so forth, and that was actually an attempt by Freenode put on a conference.
Yeah,
if you're
I
familiar
was about
with
to say
Freenode.
that.
Yeah. So about 9 years ago, I had this interest in starting a conference in the Northeast U.S. And I was talking to Christelle, the head of staff at Freenode, then and still today, about doing a conference. She mentioned this material, and we had been trying to find a name for the conference and had actually come up with like, oh, it would be really cool if we could use FOSSCON. And when I mentioned it to her, she's like, well, I have all this artwork and material that happens to be that exact same name. Would you like it?
You can save a lot of money. Yep.
Yes. So we ran with that because, you know, it sounded a lot better than Nell.
I don't know, man. Then you get the little hats with the jingle bells on.
Yeah, I think Nell is a better name.
All right, we'll have to scratch this and start over. Sorry, guys.
Yep. I'll buy a new hoodie.
Awesome. See, this is a money-making opportunity.
Right, exactly.
Gotta
And
replace all my hoodies.
hoodies.
Well, no, I keep the old ones too.
So we found out why Christelle had not followed through with FOSSCON. She actually lost about $10,000 on the deal. She got a venue, she got some sponsors secured, and she couldn't quite get enough, and things kind of snowballed in on themselves, and she ate the deposit. And that happens to a lot of events, apparently, trying to get off the ground. What's that?
TumblrCon? Oh, I'm sorry, it was DashCon, right?
So running a conference is hard. Harder than we expected. So why did we do it? Well, there weren't any real open source events in the area. I mean, there's Plug, and Plug is awesome. Plug meets regularly, and actually, if you look across the country, Plug is one of the most active user groups as far as actually having meetings in the entire country.
We have 3 meetings a month, some just have 1.
Yeah.
Some can't be bothered to have one.
Yeah.
Jeez.
We have enough people to fill out 3.
Yeah, exactly, and you know, get good crowds at a lot of them. So.
Some of us are crazy and come to all 3 in a month. But
Yes, there are people who do that. I don't know what's wrong with those people. I won't.
it's like we don't have jobs or something.
You know, I had there's pizza, so that's why, right?
Yeah.
I had a desire to
Good
get more
enough reason for
involved
me.
in the free and open source software community. And we were really silly and thought it wouldn't be that difficult. We were wrong.
Oh, you, huh?
Why do we still do it? You'd think we'd have learned better. But, you know, things have changed, but FOSSCON's just as important to me as ever. It's really cool. You get to see people from all over the country, all over the world, coming together and talking and sometimes coming up with cool ideas. And, you know, personally, I've always felt like when I go to an event, any kind of event really, that, you know, has some kind of message behind it, some kind of focus. You go back thinking about like the cool things you can do with that, the things that you've learned, the people you've met, and the stuff you can do. So, you know, it's a really cool experience in that sense, and to be part of that is awesome. But we believe in like creating an environment where people can come together and have those conversations, meet other people, you know, trade business cards, trade ideas. We encourage everybody to get on IRC because I think I'm old school and I still think IRC is awesome. And we believe in an event that anybody can come to, anybody who can get there can attend. So that's always been an important point to me. Yes?
How about the fact that there's a FOSSCON in Europe?
There is a FOSSCON in Europe.
Do they use the same logo?
No.
Yes. Oh, they do.
They did.
Green.
Yes.
Okay.
They stole it.
Even Erasmus?
They stopped using it?
Yes.
Wow.
But there's also, speaking of Europe, there's also an event, Freenode Live, which is sort of spawned by the same group that tried to do FOSSCON in the first place and couldn't, but that's put on by Freenode, not shockingly. And I've worked a bit with them on some collaborative stuff, which I'll tell you a little bit about that later in the talk. But final thing here, we believe in an event anybody who can get there can attend, and that's been an important thing. The first year, we charged on the cover everybody, but in reality, pretty much anybody who asked could get a free ticket. But we moved on to basically having, like, the conference is free. It's free for anybody who wants to go there, and you can pay, you can help out by getting a paid ticket, which gets you a t-shirt or a hoodie. And we did that because I don't want to be the guy saying, you can't come to this. I realize I can't fix everything. If there's people who literally, like, that's the thing stopping them from getting there is $25, I can't really do anything about that. I don't want to be the hang-up, I guess, is what it comes down to. So, and it's worked for us. We've been financially stable for 9 years now. So, turns out you don't actually need to charge if you do things right, and enough people will, want that T-shirt, want that hoodie, or want to just, help out. It
Although
works
the
out
mug
okay.
needs work.
What's that?
Although the mug needs work.
The mug does need work.
I mean, I wanted to love it. I really did. So it sits in the cabinet. It goes nowhere.
We will accept your ideas on improving our mugs.
Maybe you one of those really big mugs like the new EPA guy, or no, the FCC guy, yeah.
like 3 gallons of coffee?
Yeah.
That might be the answer. Actually, my favorite mug at work is my favorite mug, well, for 2 reasons, but one of those reasons is it holds 2 cups of coffee.
I say first you have your bowl of cereal and then you refill it with your coffee.
Just why not both?
Yeah, I would say first cup's pre-creamed.
No, you put the coffee in the cereal.
Yeah.
A bigger bottom than a top is always nice.
Oh, yeah. The tip resistant.
So, events are exciting, and this is one of the reasons we kept doing it. I touched on this a little bit, but for me, going to events is fun and exciting, and you leave kind of energized, and, well, hopefully somebody does. I usually leave exhausted, but the next day I'm pretty energized. Thinking back to, everybody I met, trying to figure out where I wrote down those notes that I can't find, stuff like that. All the people you've met, the business cards you've traded, the stuff you've learned about, the things you want to build with some obscure Pearl one-liner Walt told you about.
Did you leave with a broken one year?
I did do that 1 year. I do not recommend it.
Wait a minute, didn't you not register last year?
I'm told I didn't register.
Wasn't I supposed to throw you out?
Yeah, totally.
I
I
think I
have
was-
registered this year, just so everybody's aware.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
I was very
First one
conflicted.
registered.
Yes. And then I closed registration so nobody could be sick. But it's open again.
Yes, everyone should go register if they have not already.
I can't remember
So,
if I did or not. So I
as
can't-
for why events like this are good for you, why do you come here? I come to Plug to learn new things, to meet people, have pizza, things like that. And you get that also at FOSSCON. You also get a chance to, just like we do here, we have discussions and talk about things that aren't really on the schedule. We've always tried to, at least for the past few years, have FOSSCON in places where there's places for you to kind of mingle and sit down and chat with people. I, really love that myself when I go to an event to talk things through, go over new ideas, stuff like that. It's also a great way to meet people and maybe eventually grow your career, which, I would say honestly that the Linux Users Group in Philly and FOSSCON together helped me get, the job I have today and be doing something I really love doing.
I can agree to that. I definitely agree to that.
So, that's a real thing. It works. And by the way, while we're here at ATS and I'm giving a talk on FOSSCON, I will happily mention ATS is sponsoring us this year, so thanks a lot for that.
If not, I would have to get on that.
It's their first year sponsoring us.
I tried to get him to do it last year. Just want to say
Wait,
that.
time out. You were working here and they wouldn't even sponsor it?
I actually left ATS the year I started FOSSCON. So I didn't really have an opportunity to come back and talk to him about it until more recently when I made some new contacts here and got in with some people. So
I did try last year. I did.
yeah, it was a little late in the cycle though.
Yeah,
so
a little
I understand
late.
that.
It's my fault. I think.
Totally your fault, Chris.
Totally.
100%.
Shut up.
Totally.
Silence you.
Maybe fewer, more Linuxy.
Yeah, that's the problem. I think the problem is Chris showed up and broke the coffee maker. That's just what I
Did
did.
not. It was a
Did you
fluke.
knock out the power?
And it was
with
tea.
Yes, he made tea and took out the power at Court Isle.
Haven't you, like,
How did I never
a day
hear
in
this
the power
story?
system at once?
This sounds like it's got legs on it. I could get a lot of mileage out of this.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes, yeah.
It was a fluke. Happened at the same time.
Right.
Just, and think about what is he doing now?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Chris?
And yet there have been no problems.
Yes, because there's safety controls. Make sure you don't screw it up.
Oh, let's be good, be good, be good, be
You
good.
just don't want to make the coffee. So
It's
event
true.
planning as a side job, so to speak, is not easy. It takes a lot of time. Some stuff is time sensitive. Sometimes, taking a step away from the real job to call people, to line up sponsors, to get speakers is challenging. Some stuff's less time sensitive, but all of it is against this background of the clock just ticking towards, August 26th just is not that far away, and it's always in the back of my mind.
So wasn't it like 5 a.m.? Come by and pick up the crates?
Yeah, we had to come by and,
Yeah.
Yep.
man, that was.
There were too many crates for any one vehicle.
So getting things done early is important and difficult. It always feels like everything is dependent on everything else. It's hard to get sponsors when you can't tell them where the event's going to be. It's hard to commit to a location when you can't give them any money because you don't have any sponsors yet. It's hard to get attendees when you don't have a nice list of speakers, which I'm going to share a few of who our speakers are going to be, at least a couple tonight.
I cannot speak this time, I'm sorry.
So Chris is speaking.
I don't know that you technically spoke last time.
I did, thank you.
I was running the laptop.
I spoke.
All you did was
Yeah,
talk.
I remember hearing something about the shooting of JFK. That was
What?
we talked about.
I don't know when we'll talk
I'm
about.
still
Please
saying
continue.
it's confused.
So I have an important question as I'm registering.
Uh-huh.
Is the hoodie design the same this year as last year?
No, the hoodie design is
It's
not
new design?
completed yet, but it is new design.
When we get finished here soon enough, we'll
Okay.
go ahead and do a key signing here.
So everything's dependent on everything else, and it makes getting things done challenging at times. It's gotten a little better over the years because, like I said, we've been pretty financially stable. So usually we go into the next year with something left over to put towards the venue. So we're not starting completely from scratch. But it's enough to make the deposit. It makes things a lot easier.
Were you able to resolve the issue from last year?
Which issue is that?
The sponsorship, the
Yes.
sponsorship, the parent company, or
Yes.
are you guys your own 501c now or whatever?
Not yet, but that's in the works this year.
Cool.
So what Chris is referencing basically is FOSSCON is in the process of becoming its own registered nonprofit, which simplifies some things, makes certain parts of my life a little bit more difficult because managing that is time consuming.
Sorry, I don't mean to air a deal on
That's fine.
because dirty laundry or whatever.
So are you thinking about, or is there ever a possibility that you're going to bring the night after or the night before camp out? Because I know you guys used to do that.
I would love to. That really all comes down to having a place to do.
Yeah, and I guess that's one of the downsides of having air conditioning is they don't seem to allow that.
Yes, exactly.
I'll sit with air conditioning.
But to that point, people have been asking for a long time if we're ever going to have a second day as well.
I think
You
you
gotta
should do
worry
that
about
6
where we
months.
stay.
That like doubles your cost and
It
Maybe it needs
does.
to be 2 FOSSCONs a
2 FOSSCONs a year. Just have a second. Just have
Antipodes.
opposite. Yes.
year. Yeah, I did have Walt speak at each one.
Walt says, wait,
It's
what?
true.
I want to do what and who?
So there's a lot of work. There's prep work basically leading up to the event. There's the Mad Dash. I say in my slides the day of, but it's not really the day of. It's the 2 days before and the day of and the day after. It's just kind of a mad dash to get everything in place and done. A lot of that doesn't matter how well prepared you are because there's just so much movement that has to happen in a very small amount of time. And then there's follow-up to make sure, things are dealt with. And they're, realistically, when we talk about follow-up, what that really is preparation for the following year, because it's never really like the day after is a day to rest. It's usually a day of compiling thoughts and starting the movement for the following year. You know, simple things like, did we hate the venue? Can we come back here? Is it going to be big enough? Did it have air conditioning? Did the air conditioning work?
I thought one last year was pretty good.
Yeah, and we're going back to the same space this year.
Yeah, Wi-Fi could have been better, but it was better
That's-
than the previous joint,
That's pretty much,
Franklin House or whatever.
Yes.
What was the
Friends meeting.
Friends
Friends.
House, their Friends Center.
Friends Center? That's right.
Yeah.
Oh, we are going back there?
No,
Oh,
we're
my
going back
God.
to IHP. We're going to IHOP.
Pancakes for everyone.
Hey.
We once again get to collect all those little flyers for the talks and presentations that you have never even imagined.
Over here, question.
Sure.
So how big is this? How many people are you drawing?
About
12
300.
million.
I wish. About 300, yeah.
It's a good sized event. Really it is.
It's the largest event of this type, at least in Philadelphia as well. There's other things that kind of go in the same vein. There's a lot of stuff at Philly Tech Week that leads towards free and open source software, but this is the only thing that's really focused on that in the area other than CPOS. So, you know, some of the prep work that goes into it, finding a location. Sometimes that means literally scouting it out. Walt will probably remember when we toured IHP. I remember it very well.
Yeah, I remember, yeah, we walked around there. I mean, I'd been there, you know, a bunch of times before for various things. But yeah, I think it.
They do movies every week because they email me every week now to tell me there's a movie.
Are they good?
I've never been to the movies at a IHP, but they have a very nice theater.
Yeah, I've been to some, like, you know, they have kind of artsy things and like Philadelphia Film Festival things there. So I think last year were there posters for some kind of horror movie fest coming up?
There were, yes.
I
There
don't
were
remember.
so many posters.
Yeah.
So many posters.
All over the place.
Some of them gave me disquieting thoughts.
So I remember that day pretty well because I had done a night maintenance.
Oh, that's
at,
right, yeah, you had been up all
yeah,
night.
at
And
401
I
North
bet you
Road.
I was on my way in and you were on your way home.
Yes, and I walked there from 401 because I
Right,
had
you
a
finished
lot
early,
of time to
you had a lot
kill.
of time to
Yeah,
kill.
That's not how I would have killed it.
it's a nice walk. Shame I didn't have my Fitbit that day.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember if I had mine. I think it was.
Mine's charging right now at home.
I
had
think you guys are
to go
good.
steps that day.
Yeah, I'm sure I did it wrong.
So, you know, finding a venue is always a challenge. Signing up sponsors, figuring out who to talk to at places. A lot of times it's kind of a black hole until you find the right person. There's a lot of follow-up with that. When somebody does express an interest, just keeping the conversation open. Finding great speakers and talks. A lot of times that's, you know, we get a lot of speakers who come from Plug who go to speak at FOSSCON as well. Walt has spoken on numerous occasions. I know you.
Sometimes the same talk.
I know he's got sometimes the same talk. So we're looking forward to hearing about punch cards again.
But it'll be even longer. It's going to be the extended, you know, I don't know,
Director's cut.
disco, director's cut remix version of it.
Awesome.
With I mean, I already gave you.
The
There
long
was
walk.
it was a director's cut with the deleted scenes and the
Yeah.
director's commentary.
I don't know,
That's
we don't-
27 8x10 cover glossy pictures with
Do we
the
get to
circles and
see,
arrows.
Do we get to find out who shot first?
On solo shot first.
Yeah, it was on solo.
Liz will be coming back to speak again this year as well.
Keynote?
Possibly, not sure on that.
You had a keynote lined up.
We have a potential keynote lined up. That's,
You're in discussions.
yes, we're in
You're
discussion.
If you want me to do it, that's fine. Just, you know.
Yeah, but one could be good.
Okay, so there were two keynotes at Bang Bang Con. Either one of them would have been they were both excellent and Been talking to, we were talking to John's been talking to one of them, and I don't want to say which it is which one it is until we can get it confirmed, but she was great.
Yeah, and they were actually, I think you said they were half an hour or 40 minutes or something rather than 10 minutes?
Oh yeah, the two keynotes were like, they got like 45 minutes time slots.
So finding speakers is actually usually one of the easier things. Like we usually get a pretty good amount of submissions and can be fairly selective. And we've had a lot of good people who come back year after year. Love to see that. And getting attendees, which those two things kind of go hand in hand because nobody wants to come to a conference with no speakers. Isn't really a point. If we wanted to just sit around and talk to each other, there's cheaper ways to do that than renting out a big expensive venue.
Yes, we do it 3 weeks out of every month.
Exactly. Somehow we convince somebody else to pay for the pizza.
Hey man, don't say that too loudly. They're going to figure it out.
All right.
I think they already did.
So there's a lot of outreach that happens, on social media. Just send stuff through mailing lists, IRC, so old school social media, before it had a silly name. And coming out to stuff and talking to people. So the day of is managing controlled-ish chaos. A lot of people in here presumably work in IT, and a lot of people in here presumably understand the mentality of going into work and not actually knowing what you're going to be doing that day.
Vile calumny.
Or going into work and having this list of things you're supposed to do that day, none of which actually get touched before you leave. So FOSSCON's a lot like that.
It's only like half my days. I'm going to shut up.
See, that's not that bad. So, a couple of the things that, people there end up volunteering for basically are like registration desk and information, just signing people in and helping people find where they need to go. Security and assistance, like keeping an eye on things and keeping people moving and helping them find the right places.
We were pivotal last year.
Pivotal always. Timekeeping, making sure the speakers stop talking when they're supposed to stop talking.
That's what I want to do this
Speaking
year.
of,
I want to do that this year. I think I would be good.
You just cut them off.
yeah, you're not good at this.
Self-evident, no?
Yes.
And runners, which is basically people who are everywhere all the time like magic.
Picking up bags of ice?
Yes, picking up bags of ice, picking up cases of litter,
Did you get the projector?
literally relaying to Staples 12 blocks away to get a projector in time for the talk it was needed for.
I will never forget the cops looking at us as we're running into Center City because of the projector.
This seems fine.
No, I just love the slow pan, whatever.
Literally had to go get a projector.
It was hot. The guy was like going,
It's not worth chasing them. And the
They
follow-up.
look respectable-ish.
Yeah,
I'm sure
yeah.
they're on the up and up.
If it was Keith, that'd have been a different story.
Let's not go there.
So the follow-up is always, honestly, one of the hardest parts because this is, going back to all your sponsors, making sure they're satisfied with the experience, whatever could be done differently to, improve things. Handicap ramp. Likewise with speakers, talking to people about what they enjoyed and whether they'd want to come back in the future. Not annoying anybody. So it's always been my policy not to give out email information to any of our sponsors, not to give out email information to anybody. The only thing we use email addresses for has always been outreach directly related to that year's conference.
Wasn't there a sponsor who wanted email addresses?
There was, and we told them no.
Yeah.
And it's not always a popular thing among the sponsors, but it's always been a popular thing among the attendees. So,
It's appreciated.
yeah.
So what is that?
Is that what?
What hasn't been popular?
Not giving out attendee contact info.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It's something
Even
the
when
sponsors
demanded.
always ask for,
Something
and
privacy.
yes, sometimes push for.
Something privacy.
Yes, we like our privacy. This
Well,
year,
I would say, why don't you put a checkbox on the sign up? You know, go ahead and share my information with sponsors, and I'm sure like 4, maybe even 5 of us will check that box.
yeah, exactly.
And then you could be like, well, here's the list that have opted in.
You have to go too fast.
No, man, I got a whole domain to burn. I can opt in like 4 times.
Yeah, but what I've seen, I've seen sponsors do is, you know, they give you, I mean, Linode does this, right? They give you a free month on their system,
Yes.
and they get you.
They get your contact
that way.
info.
That's how they'll, you know, and then that way it's opt-in at every level, which
Right.
I think is nice. Yes?
Maybe you can have a sign-up sheet where if people want to be contacted by sponsors, they can simply put their email address and then just give that to sponsors.
Sure.
I need a checkbox that says only if you're giving me free crap or discounts.
There you go.
Yeah.
This year we did add something to the sign-up process where you can enter some demographic information, but the same rules apply there. We're not going to give specific information to any sponsor, but a lot of them ask who comes to the conference, and it seems like it might be a useful thing to be able to hand out.
I noticed that's how old I was.
Well, incidentally, I am, according to the analytics on the website, I am older than everyone who has visited the site this week. At least people who have recorded demographic information. So
Well,
that's
that's not hard to do. I mean,
Yeah.
Really fast.
But knowing that, that's based on Google's knowledge of people, and it doesn't know everybody's age. At least I hope that's the
oh shit, I think Google still thinks I'm like 140.
Well, then you must not have known there this week.
No,
This
okay.
These are just a few snapshots I took from the website earlier. So the speaker submissions are open. You can go ahead and register if you're. Or you can go ahead and enter a talk submission if you'd like to.
Workshop.
At least MySafe VPN didn't sign up to be your sponsor. Crashed and burned.
You can also sign. You can also register at this point. We've opened the registration up. The location is the International House of Philadelphia, which is in University City.
It's actually a really nice venue.
It's a
Yeah,
gorgeous
yeah, it's
venue.
pretty
It
good.
could use more handicap ramps.
It's not as nice as Franklin Institute, but they also want a lot of money.
And you have to watch out for the parking because sometimes you have to be in there before, what was it, 9 a.m., 8 a.m.?
Yeah, it
It was
was.
really early.
It was early, man. We were there early though.
And the,
I remember you were like, I gotta pay how much for parking?
I would say always be careful with parking in Philadelphia because there's a lot of
There's a lot of people, that's how they make
there's
their
a lot,
income.
yes, there's a lot of weird timings though, like you mentioned. Like you come in before 8 and suddenly it's half the price.
Yeah, because everybody was saying, oh yeah, go park here because it's like $8 or something. And then he's like, that'll be $35.
It wasn't quite that much.
It was close.
It was like 20.
28?
It was some.
I remember I handed over 30 and I didn't expect change back.
It was some ridiculous number.
I parked at, I never drive, I hardly ever drive into the city, and I parked.
That's how I bought the
I
boat.
parked at the station, at the parking lot by 30th Street Station for, I think I was there for like 26 and a half hours, and it was $53.
God,
It's only about $2 an hour.
Yeah.
it's a premium.
Even,
My goodness.
even me parking
So
in
I'm
New York
gonna get
City
my
was.
bike in, and I'm just going to drive through a hole in the fence.
$5 parking all day in Philly with bikes.
I wonder where the nearest corral is to
I'll do it, assuming the weather's not terrible and I'm not bringing.
Well, see,
some
your
monster.
bike is worth stealing. Mine isn't.
Hello.
Oh, hi.
So we're also still looking for sponsors if anybody's employer might be interested.
Sign me up for the
Everybody's
highest
coming to a
package.
lot of lottery winnings.
Yes.
Cordell's not chipping in this year?
Court Isle is more than likely chipping in this year.
Okay.
I just
I
haven't.
bet
gotten
Leno
the
is
check.
too.
I haven't gotten the check yet, so they're not on the list. Sorry, Court Isle.
No. You got principles. You gotta respect that.
I bet Leno is too.
More than likely.
Leno always sponsors.
Leonard has
I need
sponsored.
another 3 T-shirts. I lost 3 T-shirts last year. I need to
Exactly.
replace them.
You know, so I mean, if Leonard's not there, how will we get T-shirts? You'd have to
They
go to the
make
store or
great
something.
shirts for kids sleeping in.
I was
They
saying,
make
get
great
in
shirts.
early, and they have 3Xs.
I
I have one. It's proof. And then
Most
I have
of my-
3 larges because that's what I have.
Most of my T-shirts at home are Leno T-shirts after many years of this.
You're slowly.
I give them
replacing
full
FOSSCON,
points.
Not really, but
I'm not quite keeping up with attrition, unfortunately.
I would say I give them full points though. Every year they are different colors.
Yes,
Yes,
and different fabrics, actually.
yes,
Yeah.
I've noticed that too. The red ones were very nice.
Oh, they were so comfy.
You still have a few.
I do.
Well, I'm a few dozen.
No.
I'd say probably at least 20 combined of last year's Slither shirts.
Oh, well, that's it. That's actually lower than he's had in the past. Okay.
So we are still looking for sponsors. Private Internet Access, by the way, is the organization that's now sponsoring Freenode.
Oh,
And they're
yeah.
sponsoring us this year as well.
Huh.
Oh,
I don't know
yeah.
how I feel about that. I mean, not trying to be funny. Just that's an unusual
Yeah.
vector for Freenode funding. I find that interesting.
Yeah, I find that. Wait, they're sponsoring for Freenode?
They are sponsoring Freenode.
So they're sponsoring Freenode. Freenode sponsoring FOSSCON.
No, they are
They're
sponsoring
sponsoring
both
FOSSCON.
Freenode and FOSSCON.
Okay.
Interesting.
So aside from FOSSCON, another thing we've done in the past is a thing called Geekniks. It's been a while since we've had one, but it's basically just a picnic for nerds, geeks. We try to do them somewhere family friendly, so that's usually a thing. Usually it's been like a local park, or we've done Pet Split over at Valley Forge. We've done the park in Oaks. And we've done a bunch of camping trips as well, which those have been a lot of fun. Get like 20 or 30 people at a lot of those camping trips. We tended towards doing those in Jersey because they have this great thing where you can get a group site for ridiculously small amounts of money. So if you max out the site, it's $1 a person a night. We've never maxed out the site because we like to have a little bit of room, but it ends up being like, $5 or $10 a person for the whole weekend, which is still pretty good.
You need to make Arduino-powered bear lights.
Yes, we definitely need. I no longer have a functional bear light, so need to
I
do
have a
something
nice
about that.
bright light here for you.
No, a bear light's very specific. You see, the story behind the bear light is you have this blinking light. It's just a little single blinking LED, and you mount it somewhere high. And if anybody sees a bear, they're supposed to go yell bear and go turn on the light while everybody else runs away. And whoever actually thinks that's a good idea, well, we don't talk about them.
Remember, you don't have to outrun everyone. You don't have to outrun everyone else.
No, you only have to
Bob.
outrun
Nice.
one person.
One person.
I don't have to outrun the bear. I just have to outrun you.
That's what you bring the gun for. You shoot someone in the knee, you keep going.
I just stick next to baby legs here. I'm good.
I'm not bad.
For a
I
short
understand how
distance,
to better
sure.
sneakers, but she
We
didn't
dwarf.
need
We dwarf.
that.
Well, if you got shot in the knee, you're certainly not going to be running.
Trained in hand-to-hand combat.
I wouldn't say trained.
I would
Bobs.
take,
Hey.
I would paint.
Chris can
Marine
fight
Corps,
us.
right, Chris?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Chris can fight off the bear.
He has
trained in
been
hand-to-hand combat.
he has been trained to the very best that the Marine Corps can manage.
Marine Corps.
That's why I said Marine Corps.
Corps.
He's a trained killer.
As someone who was prior military myself, it's Marine Corps.
Sure, whatever.
He's trolling you.
Go Navy.
Can I throw something at you?
He's trolling you so bad right now. Just let it go. Be like Elsa and just let it go.
I'm sorry, I think you dropped us.
All right,
I
all
am so
right.
sorry that he hit your laptop roll. He's not very nice.
All
I'm a
right.
terrible person, Walt.
Okay.
Yes.
I'll own that. It's mine. Are you all right? Was there any damage?
No.
All right. Being a fellow Apple user, I know how important it is. If you needed some stickers, I can get you covered.
With stickers.
With
Yes.
stickers.
What stickers?
So anyone
Well,
who's
I
not
collect all of them.
anyone who's not already on IRC, if you want to chat about Freenode or chat about FOSSCON, sorry, you can do so on Freenode.
You could also chat about Freenode.
You can also chat about Freenode on
Most
Freenode.
do.
I'm sure that's allowed.
Most do.
You can also, there's the Plug IRC channel, if you're not already involved in that. I put this convenient link there that's not so convenient because it's got a bunch of stuff, escaped characters. But really, if you if you don't already have an IRC client, you can just go to webchat.freenode.net and put in either pound FOSSCON or pound plug and get to either of those. I will not call it a hashtag.
It should not be called one.
It's not the authority. So if anyone is interested in helping, we can always use help. So can others doing events like this. You can email me directly if you'd like to help out, either this year or in the off season. And other events, similar to this surrounding area, always need volunteers. Most of them are also, looking for help. So if you can't help with FOSSCON, but maybe you can help with one of those, that's a great way to help out. And as far as the Geekniks I mentioned, as we've always done those, but they haven't been just like one or two people, different people have organized them. And there's actually been about 70 of them all over the world. Yes?
So, can we have a barcade night sometime?
Is there a barcade?
Yes.
Yes, there is.
Yes, it's in Fishtown.
Okay.
What?
Fish, I didn't think it was a fish town.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's in Fishtown. It's like a couple doors down from Frankfurt Hall up on Frankfurt Avenue.
Barcade?
Barcade, yes.
Yeah.
Butter.
Yeah, they will, you can go to an arcade, they will bring you beer.
Butter. Barcade. I guess now I'm old too.
Yeah, you are.
They don't get my jokes either.
If you would like to organize something there, I'll certainly help promote it.
Okay.
We did do, not quite the same thing, but we did once do a Geeknik for Christmas at the pinball place. I can't remember the name of it.
Yeah, I remember
The
you
one
talking
up
about
there or something.
Yeah, way out in the middle of nowhere. But that was pretty cool because it was like you paid $5 or $10 or something to get in, and all the games were free. And they had like 70 pinball machines there.
The one in
Of
Malvern.
which about 20 of them work.
Well, that's true. Some of them were quite old.
It's
It's not in Malvern. It's much farther than that.
It's like outside of Lansdale somewhere, isn't it?
Yeah,
Or-
yeah, it is.
I forget exactly
It
where it
is.
is.
The one in
I think I know the place you're talking about.
in Malvern is that
Gateway, not Gateway.
no,
Pinball
it's-
Gallery Center.
okay, not what I was thinking about then.
In where?
It's right before
The
the
freezer
one.
shop or
Yeah,
something.
you know where like
No, I don't.
People's Light?
Yeah.
It's like Route 30 and 401. It's like right there.
Oh,
And that's out. That
You have a
weird
question?
little-
Yeah, so like, what's the day like for somebody who's just like going? Is it one presentation at a time? Or do you get
There
to
are
choose?
there are several presentations at a time, usually
3.
2 to 3.
I would say last year the matrix was as wide as it was deep.
Yeah.
So you could get like 4 or 5 in over the course of the day, but there were also like 5 or 6 running at any given point in time.
Exactly.
And so I remember sitting there going, oh, this one, that one, that one, that one, that one, this one. No, wait, no, this one, that.
And then you were volunteering, you're like, crap.
Yeah, and then I think I caught one presentation the whole day. That was
Yeah.
the key signing.
This is one of the reasons people have asked for a multiple day thing. One, so that talks can repeat. So you have a second chance to get it without conflicting with something else you want to go to, or you're speaking at, or you're helping with. But yeah, there's usually at least 3 talks simultaneously, other than like keynotes and events like that. We have an opening and closing and a keynote in there somewhere. There's an exhibit hall with the sponsors and various community groups that come out and have tables for you to look at their stuff. And
Swag early.
yeah. How many
Or all
tracks were there last year?
I believe we had 3 last
3
year.
tracks
Yeah.
last year.
Great.
There's a lot of places to eat and drink in the area, including a Wawa across the street. Right, you walk across the street down.
Convenient Wawa.
A very convenient Wawa.
There's a deli in the
I
space
appreciate
as
the
well that I believe was open. Yeah, it was
One
open.
of the attendees.
Yeah, because people kept going in
One
there.
of the attendees comes down from Montreal
Yes.
and was raving about the Wawa cheese.
Oh
Oh my
goodness.
gosh. that's
What?
the person, I
That poor
remember
person.
that.
Did
That
someone
poor
like at
person.
least pay to take them to a real cheese?
We
We
tried.
tried.
We
John and I
tried to
tried.
take him to Abner's.
It was the first cheesesteak you'd ever had, apparently.
And John and I tried, and he was
Well, I
like,
guess
no,
if you're
it's
comparing
not
it to
that
nothing at
boring.
all,
No,
Wawa
it's
cheesesteaks
so
are pretty killer.
worth eating.
Yeah.
It's just if you've ever had another cheesesteak, they don't measure up.
I
It's
totally
better than a
agree.
Big Mac.
We have the best cheesesteak you can buy. at
Depends on what you eat.
$3.
Big Mac.
No,
Now, no, 3 o'clock is debatable. 4 o'clock, okay.
Yeah, 4 o'clock definitely.
I'll grant you 4. There's probably a better one at 3 at some bar somewhere or something.
Well, okay, so
Well,
but I don't.
three is probably when Pat's and Geno's close, right? So after Pat's and Geno's close.
Yeah.
Pat's
That's
and
when
Geno's a Wawa
Pats
cheesesteak.
and
over
Cheetos
Texas.
are tourist traps.
I agree. Yeah,
They
they're
are.
However, though, they are next to a bar called Garage South, which I mean that kind of lends itself pretty good when drunk people are coming out.
I don't care
know.
what
I'm
drunk
pretty
people
sure
are
drunk
eating.
people don't discriminate against cheesesteaks too much.
Yeah, they'd be fine with. anything
Wawa.
that looks like a
I've had
cheesesteak.
things.
There are
pretty-
there
I'm
are
pretty sure
no
drunk
there are
people
no
wouldn't eat Wawa
Wawas
cheesesteaks.
next to Garage South though.
Okay, so I've been a Philly native like my entire life, and I'm 34 now. I know like all the good spots for cheesesteaks. The best place I have ever found, and trust me, I've looked, has been this place called Dan's. It's in like around Booth Corner, across from a place called Aquarium World. It's this little hole in the wall place, but every time I've been there, consistently amazing cheesesteaks, no matter who the chef was.
Dan's is
Have you ever
good.
been to the Pepper Mill?
No.
Dan's is good, but how do you score pudges?
Hmm?
Dan's is good, but how do you score pudges?
Pudges? It's on the other wall. Sorry, no, it's better than Pudges.
Oh, yeah. I'm getting
Okay.
that, but how high is pudges in the higher room?
I'd give Pudges maybe a
Quick
5
question,
or
how many more
6.
slides do you have?
On a scale of...
Out of 10?
1 to 10.
Yeah, we need to.
No, that's okay. I just want to know because.
You're about halfway through.
Oh, actually, no, that's my last slide.
Oh, it is? Okay. So, before we adjourn, whatever, so we kind of think about it in terms of time, they tend to have the last call for seating at the office at 9. So,
Should we get over there fairly quickly?
yeah, exactly. That's what I was thinking.
I mean, they've never given us crap about it.
Yeah, they have. They didn't stop us, but they.
Well, okay, yeah. There we go. They did not stop us. They've
Well,
never
this-
stopped us.
This is my last slide.
Okay.
So, if you have any questions, you can email me. If you want to submit a talk, please do. We have our talk submissions open until July 10th. Yes?
So, since there's a definite lack of Linux conferences in the winter, and it would be completely probably 6 months after this, have you thought about doing a Philadelphia Linux user or a Philadelphia Linux conference at all, or just kind of curious?
I do like the idea. I think the challenge would be getting funding for it. If the funding was there, I'd be open to the idea. And I think we could probably pull it off.
We'll talk to the people over at Technically and see what happens.
Be happy to do that.
Okay. The Minneapolis Pro Monitors for longer than you would think, maybe like 5 years, held a a weekend Frozen Pearl workshop in like January, February in Minneapolis.
I could believe that.
See, there's a realistic risk there with putting a lot of money into an event and then it's
Yeah, it
blizzards.
snows, yeah.
You're not
it's
gonna,
tough.
No. When you go to Minnesota, you just assume the blizzard. That's the nice part is
All right.
they have the proper tools for it. Hey Jeff, you're here just in time.